Just a recap on what we did last study. This is actually the question. There are 5 students in the class. Each of them will be facing 3 assessments. Write a C++ program that will accept the names and marks for all students and proceeds to display the name of the student and the marks for each assessment, highest between the 3 marks and the average marks of the student, right? So we have done this before. We have done something like this before. So it's just a matter of recalling how that was done, right? The average marks of the student is just average. You just take the 3 and then divide it. Here I'm using num is equal to 2 because I'm at the testing stage, right? So it's generally easier if you have a smaller number, so you don't have to key in for 5 students or anything like that, right? But once everything is done, everything looks okay, then you can change that to 5 or whatever numbers lah, right? So when or if you're doing programming, right, it's good to have, because you know that you're going to test it out first whether it works or not the way you intend it to work. So if you see that it is okay, then you can change it according to the requirement of the program. Here the requirement is 5, but I use 2 instead of 5, right? So doing something like this makes a lot of sense because as you can see here, I have num, you know, I actually make use of num several times. So if say I don't have num, let's say I write down 2 here, so each of the instance where you see num inside my program, I actually have to write down 2, 2, 2. When I change it to 5, I have to redo it all over again. Same thing, I have to change all the 2's into 5. If say, alamak, you know what, I have 10 students, then I have to change everything to 10. So it makes a lot of sense to just declare it once like this, 1 point declaration, right? And then everything else consistently will just follow that number, right? So one by one, we have include I/O manipulation, input-output manipulation here, because I'm using things such as the get line. The get line will enable me to do something like this, right? Here, as you can see, my name is long name fella here, right? And if I use the normal cin for a string, right, it will just capture the first word. I want it to capture the whole thing, so I actually make use of the get line. Here, it's able to capture the whole thing. So that's the part where we get the names of the student. Next part is we get the marks for the respective student, right? First and foremost, marks input. So this is just statics, right? Then for counter 0, counter less than num, counter plus plus, right? So here we are trying to separate the two, the however many students lah. So it will actually do for the first student and then second and so on and so forth, right? So marks for student counter plus 1. So it will be marks for student 1, right? For counter age. So the other counter, meaning for this part, because for the 3 assessment, I use counter age. Age for horizontal, if I'm not mistaken, right? So you can name it anything you like, or you can name it something else which is different from the first counter, right? So just make sure that it's different, so you know how to differentiate between the two, right? So here it's 0 until 3 because there are 3 assessments, right? And then for each of the assessment, this question will be asked: marks for assessment counter age plus 1. So when counter age is 0, marks for assessment 1, and then 2, and then 3, right? And then each of the assessment marks will be inputted, will be committed to the memory space, right? And last part is a report, right? Where first and foremost is statics again, report, right? Then here are all the statics, so to speak. So there's 25 space for student name, and then 15 space for assessment 1, assessment 2, and so on, as you can see from here, right? So this is 15 here, like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So, and it is set to the right. So here are all right aligned, right? Here on the other hand, it is set to the left. So there's 25 space here, 25 until somewhere around here, I think, right? So this 25 here, but it's left aligned. Here is 15 until here is 15, around that one, right? Here I played around with this number. I put 13 instead of 15, so it appears slightly to the left. So 1, 2, 3. This was, I think this was the previous one where I set it at 12, right? So 12. So this one will be 3 to the center. This one will be 6 to the center. This one will be 9 to the center, right? Because each time 3 will be taken. This time around it is 13. Let's see how it goes with 13. Right, so SHT for short. It's not responding. So yeah, I noticed that the Wi-Fi is a bit problematic today. Let's see if I can get this done. Right, so that's a very short name. Super. I just have to make sure that it doesn't exceed the 25, so that approximately, for example, doesn't exceed. And this is what I said earlier. If had I done it for 5 students, I have to key in marks for 5 students, and then I have to key in names of 5 students, and then marks. 3 times 5, that's 15 marks. So a lot of things to do, right? So instead, I just make use of 2 students. Right, so first student is SS. His marks is 33, 44, 55. Next student is super long name 555. His mark is 77, 88, 99. Right, so we'll get this kind of a report. So 13, it looks quite okay, right? But still a little bit strange. Arguably, the best alignment is 15. It's just that it's too far to the left, too far to the right. Right. Okay. So we're done with that part. And so we are going to do the next parts here. Highest marks between the 3 marks, and then average marks of the student. So that is just a logic, and to compare and whatnot. We can do something like this. Let's say we can just have highest and then num. Right, so here is just where we determine what is the highest of the 3, right? And then average. Right, so you can just store it just like that.